did it. All right, cool. I can never get over that opening. Kudos to Lofty for that. That was fantastic.
It's so cool.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to episode 12 of Dames and Dorks. We have a special guest with us. Today, we're going to be talking about some fun topics. Trauma dumping on Elmo. What were they thinking about that Dune popcorn bucket? And maybe some conversations about Henry Cavil. So I'll be able to simp for a little bit. As always, I'm joined by a lovely panel of ladies. Nomi is not with us. She's actually at MegaCon, so I'm very jealous. But I hope she's having a very good time. I'm going to kick it over to Lily. Let her introduce herself. We'll go around, and then we'll bring our guest in. Lily, take it away.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lily 300 Mirrors, and I'm just glad to be here. We have a bunch of really great topics. Mags is back. Dr. Rachel's here. Nadia. We have a really awesome guest, and of course, we're gonna miss Nomi today. So, but yeah, we're gonna have a really great show. So that's it.
Awesome. Mags, welcome back. We have missed you. Everybody knows who you are, but if they don't, let them know who you are.
Hi, it's good to be back. Definitely be good to get into some of these topics. I took a whole month of January off. It was very much needed. But of course, I miss all of the lovely ladies here, and I miss the chat, and I miss getting into a lot of these topics with y'all. So I am basically at 100%, and I am ready to rev up and talk about these things. But I am Magitech Mags. Of course, you can find me everywhere with that same tag down below. And I'm excited to get into it. So, and Nomi, we miss you, but have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Mags, you inspire me. Maybe I should take a month off.
I tell you, and I will tell you backstage some of the reasons why. So
okay,
that's all I'm gonna say.
All right, very cool. Dr. Rachel, doctor in the house. How are you? Who are you?
I'm good. Well, I already live like 30 minutes away, but I will be there. I have to work tomorrow, but I will be there Saturday and Sunday. So if anyone's going to be at MegaCon, please look out for me. I will be cosplaying both days, but wait until the end of the show and I'll tell you what I'll be cosplaying as. You can find me everywhere on Twitter, Saran_cosplay. Check out videos that I do on YouTube, Out of Line Crafting. I will be doing... looking forward to taking the next couple weeks, be building a version of the Master Sword. So for all you Legend of Zelda fans out there, I will be making one of those. So look out for that video, maybe like mid-February. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into some topics. We have some really off-the-wall ones for you all this week. So really looking forward to getting into it with all you lovely ladies and our special guest.
I will say, as soon as you said Master Sword, I'm sure my husband went, "What?" let me have one.
Oh yeah.
So let me bring in our guest, Miss Martin Muse. Hi.
Yay!
Welcome. Hello. If people don't know who you are, go ahead and plug where they can find you.
Oh, well, you can find me here on YouTube and Twitter. YouTube, where I talk about what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really, really ticks me off. I've not been too ticked off, though, lately, so it's been pretty happy. And you can find me, Teresa2_Martin on Twitter. I got some fun stuff coming up. Actually, I think I saw my next guest in the chat, the High King himself, the man who caused all the problems in the Hulking Legendarium. We're going to be having High King Theanor tomorrow night on my show.
He's a good one. He's a good one.
All right. Well, before we get into our first topic, which I'm very excited about, we'll say hi to the chat real quick. Mr. Mark, as always, it's a pleasure to have you in the chat. Always a pleasure to see your comments. And then I have no idea how to say this. Snortapoopas?
It's Snortapoopas Cuber. I usually call him Snorty in chat. So
hi, Snorty. I love your name. It's very difficult for me to say, but I love your name. Hey, Gravy, how are you? Hope you're doing well.
What's up, Gravy?
Love it. Love it that you're here. Get it? I'm sorry. Mongoose, as always, nice to see you.
Hi, Mongoose.
Our Mod Shmoo is in the house. Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure. As you were saying, the High King himself.
Hi, High King.
I don't want to assume gender. Herself, himself, herself. Whoop!
Himself.
Thank you.
Yes.
I don't know nowadays. I don't like, you know.
I've listened to him on panels, so yes, it's himself.
Well, look at me. I'm letting everybody know I haven't seen him yet on panel.
No, he's not been on the panel. You can hear it in his voice. Let's put it that way. He won't be.
He's an elf.
Dengar Renegade.
Hey, Dengar.
Hello. And Miss Sassy's in the house. I will actually be on her stream tomorrow with Vex and Josh. I'm very excited to talk about the female truly the female perspective, as she says. And of course, Mando. And I believe that's everybody. If I
Mando
missed
Unchained, the other Mando that I know.
Mando Unchained. If I missed anybody, I apologize. But I'm really excited to get into this topic for some reason. So our first topic of the day. Did I even make a banner? I did not. Let's see how professional I am on this. We're just going to share the screen. I think everybody in the millennial or older generation know who Elmo is. I'm sure younger generations know who Elmo is as well. But apparently everybody decided to trauma dump on Elmo a couple of days ago. Elmo decided to tweet out, Elmo, just check. I'm trying my voice. Elmo, just check. How's everybody doing? I'm trying. Sorry. And we got some real winners here. We got not feeling too tickled about life right now, Elmo.
I love it.
What else we got? Elmo's we're all in a bad day for moving in with Oscar. It's bleak out here, bro. Man. So what's everybody's thoughts on trauma dumping on Elmo?
Well, first of all, never, ever ask how everyone's doing. You deserve everything that you get. Everyone, never ask anyone how their day is either.
Yes, I agree. It's especially the internet.
I mean, that's the kind of route that I was. Yeah, that's the route that I was going to take with Teresa. I was like, he's the one that asked the question, and what do you expect when you put it out in the ether? So...
Poor Elmo.
Yep. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he did snow.
Oh,
I feel bad.
no.
I really want to know. Oh, soup! I didn't mean to do that. I really want to know what Elmo's social media manager is thinking right now, because I don't think they expected. And I think also once it was like 24 hours or 17 hours later, all the other characters kind of like retweeted his tweet saying, you know, if you need help, call this number or like reach out to like basically like prevention stuff. I think I can find it. You can probably find it. Elmo. Or not. Probably not. Anyway, I'm sorry. I digress. I'm all over the board tonight. I don't know why. Sorry, guys. I was really excited. I am. I was just really. I also spilled my ginger ale like twice right now. I like knocked it over and I was like, oh no.
What are you on, Nadia?
I'm serious. I just had ginger ale and I put it down. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna spill again. And I went to reach it and knocked it over again. So I don't know what I'm on. I don't know.
I've had those days before. It's okay.
Teresa's never coming back. She's gonna be like, nah, this is not my cup of tea.
Oh no, this is tame. Well, these are the days that you wish your bed was already made.
Yes. Yeah. Luckily mine is already made. Anyway. I've got my life left me. Daughters don't respect me. My job. Is the world that upset that they have to trauma dump on Elmo?
I wonder if some of them are real though. Some of them might just be silly.
Yeah, some of them could just be just adding as like a bunch of trolling going on. But isn't I mean, if you take, let's just say, there's a certain amount of truth to some of these replies, these quote tweets or whatever. What does that say about our society?
That they would rather trauma dump to a fake puppet on Twitter than to an actual therapist.
And then not only that, but like, why don't they? It's not just talking to a therapist. Why aren't they communicating with anybody at all about it?
Well,
do they not have the friends or the family or the support that's there to help them go through it? Or is it because we're all messed up that who do we turn to? It's like, I don't know.
It's definitely seen as the new normal, right? Where,
Mhm.
you know, whatever's going on in your life, you talk about it on Twitter for the attention. You talk about it on social media, and that's where you go to for your therapy now. The people that have genuine problems, I don't think they're going to be taking to Twitter, talking to Elmo about it. So I think a lot of these either are fake or just people looking for even more attention. It sucks, but I mean that's just how we perceive the new normal. That's how people reply and act on social media, and they think it's perfectly fine. It's really weird.
Yeah, I agree with you, Dr. Rachel. What do you think, Lily, with everybody trauma dumping on this poor Muppet?
I don't know. I was part of the problem because I trauma dumped on Elmo. I'm like,
I gotta find this. 1 second.
I'm like,
Oh,
thanks,
yeah.
guys. I'm like
It's
listening
okay.
to Max, and I'm like, thanks, Max. Just kidding.
Oh my god, now I'm horrified.
I have to find it.
It wasn't that bad. It was just like something like funny. It wasn't like, oh my god, I hate everything. Like it was just
Well,
funny.
it could just be that too. Like some of it could be real, some of it's definitely trolling, some of it, you know, people were just doing it for just being funny and jokes or whatever, and then others probably took it too far nefarious, you know,
Oh,
off the deep end
absolutely.
stuff. And it's like, oh, I'm not going down that part of Twitter.
And that was Nadia's fault because I saw it on our list of topics and I was like, what do you mean people are trauma dumping on Elmo? So then I went, read the replies, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need a trauma dump on Elmo too.
Yep.
I'm part of the problem. Sorry.
Lily.
I know.
I can't find. You're lucky, Lily. I can't find it.
I know.
Now I wish I'd have let him know how I feel. Well, it is a real thing about children using puppets sometimes to express their feelings. I don't know what it says about us adults that we want to, but it's like, oh gosh, maybe Elmo listens better than therapists. And oh wait,
and it kind of felt good too. Just throwing it out there to poor Elmo. I was like, okay, I feel better. Poor Elmo.
Elmo's buddies are getting into it too. They're also responding to it.
oh look at Big Bird. He looks so happy.
Big Bird was always my favorite.
I agree with you, Mags, about and also Dr. Rachel, like people attention seeking of some of this stuff, right? But it's so interesting to me that we live in a day and age because normally something like this would have been anonymous, right? People wouldn't put their name out there or associate anything about themselves if they feel some of these tweets get dark. And people nowadays, they don't care. They're just like, yeah, I'm in the lowest part of my life. Elmo, thanks for asking. So it's very interesting that we've moved away from the feeling of shame for this kind of stuff, or I don't want to say shame for feeling that way, because if you do feel that way, you should talk to somebody. You should, seek the help. But some of these people are just attention seekers as well. And it's just so interesting to me that shame no longer kind of exists in our society, where people don't care what they respond to a middle school Elmo, like it's meant for younger kids. So it's very interesting to me. Bring back shame. That's all I have to say. But
well, it's what is it? It's it seems like we've gone from one extreme, decades ago to now this extreme today, where it seems like it was never spoken about versus now everybody like talks about it like it's normalized. And I don't know. And Dr. Rachel, you can probably speak further into this. You probably see it too, and probably have gone through history of stuff like this in terms of research and everything. But it's like there's such a swing like that, rather than actually, is it real? Are they real issues, or is it really you need to just pull it by the bootstraps, or is it really, is it something else? And it's kind of like we go from one end of many decades ago of not talking about it to like now everybody talks about it like it's their personality type. So it's kind of, and I think social media kind catapulted that a little bit more, the latter part, and it's just, I don't know. Dr. Rachel, what do you say?
Oh God, there's so much to unpack here. So you've got, like you've all been saying, you got some people who are probably trolling or doing this for attention. But the real problem is, like you're saying, Mags, when you have just this jump, right, of like nobody wants to talk about it. And if they do, it's like very secretive, very like,
Embarrassing.
Oh God, yeah, embarrassing, very taboo to mention any kind of like discomfort, mental illness, anything like that. And now it's basically a personality type, not just that, a normalized personality type, to the point of like, what the heck is wrong with you if you don't have anxiety or if you don't have ADHD? And people just see it as like the in thing. And I think, like you're saying, Mags, it definitely, social media has very much catapulted it to normalizing it. But it also, we also see this trend in research where people tend, I know I've talked about this before, probably sounding like a broken record, but people dissociate with their online life from their personal life. So even if they're dumping real trauma online, that means they're not dealing with it in person. And that's just going to worsen everything. And that's compounded by the fact that people don't talk with each other anymore. The whole reliance on technology. People aren't seeking out real life friendships. They're seeking out online things. And so I would believe like some of these, apart from the trolls, apart from the attention seekers, some people do genuinely think this is like their opportunity for a cry for help. And that somehow the internet is going to rally behind them. And give them all the help they need, and they won't have to see a therapist, or they won't have to talk to anyone in their real life. And it really is disappointing when that happens. It's like, yes, I agree. Some people absolutely need help, but don't seek it from a talking Muppet social media account. Talk to your friends, talk to your parents, talk to your relatives, talk to your teachers, talk to a therapist, talk to someone in real life and get that actual social support. Because when you just put everything online, especially under an anonymous named account that's not really you, that you don't see as yourself, you're going to start thinking that it's like, it's almost another persona, that it's your online persona who has this trauma, not really you. So it's so layered. It's so deep. I won't get into the whole thing now, but it is very layered. And I don't like that. It is a good message to be like, hey, get the help you need. But also, I think Teresa said this earlier, where like, Elmo, you absolutely got what you came for by asking that question. Instead, just send out a message like, hope everyone's doing okay. If you need to talk to someone, get off the computer and talk to someone. That's it. That should have been the tweet. Well, don't ask a question to the internet.
I want everybody listening to DM me your address so that I can have Dr. Rachel bill you for that therapy session for the last.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit judged by what she said, like online persona and anonymous. I'm like, oh boy.
Let's break that down.
This is why
Teresa.
I use my full name online.
Forget about the other topics. Let's just break this down, all right?
Oh, I easily could, but I'm not going to put all of you through for that. You all came for like Dune buckets and Henry Cavil. I don't want to pull you away from that gloriousness.
We might have to go through a therapy if we're going to have to listen to all the details of what Dr. Rachel talks about.
What do you think, Lily?
Oh, boy.
Because you guys kind of cross over from a medical perspective. I know, Dr. Rachel, it's a different field, but I'm sure you've seen a couple of people who act like this as well in your experience.
So far in my experience, well, first of all, they'll come to me and then we refer them out to Dr. Rachel.
Okay, fair enough. I don't know.
There we go.
I really don't get into like the super nitty gritty. Like mine's more like medical stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
But when I was doing pediatrics, we had a lot of kids that would come in that they all had, literally every single kid that came in, ADHD, ADD, every kid had anxiety, depression, all of them,
Mhm.
like starting very, very little. And to me, I even brought it up with my preceptor, and I was like, is this possible? Like every single child that's one of your patients is like anxiety, or like we had a big, gigantic like talk about this, because when I was in school, it was kind of like you guys had said, it was a rare thing. And if somebody even mentioned like, you know, depression, anxiety, they wouldn't want to talk about it, because people would see it as, oh man, like what's wrong with them? Like, why are they not, you know, normal? And it is really important to talk about mental health, because we've had kids that, yeah, I got to see it, that really needed help. But some of these kids might get passed over because you think, oh, yeah, all of them are sad. All of them are depressed. All of them have anxiety. You don't even know if it's even real or not. Because like Dr. Rachel said, it's trendy now to have some kind of anxiety or depression or something like that. And to me, that's what bothers me, because the kids and the people, we see it in adults too, that actually need this kind of help, they don't get it. And because sometimes other practitioners will just pass it over. They'll be like, oh, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, everyone's depressed. Everyone's got anxiety. But no, there's actually some people that do actually need a lot of help. And I've been seeing that since I started seeing patients at the clinic. But yeah, usually they'll come in, and we don't really, if it's something that's really, really serious, then we usually refer out to Dr. Rachel.
I think, and mind you, I have no medical experience whatsoever. I got my medical license online through Photoshop. So I feel like there's two effects, especially with this generation now. One, the whole lockdown thing, I'm sure screwed up a bunch of people, especially children. And two, I generally feel my parents were way more involved with my schooling and like who I hung out with and what I did as a kid. And I feel there's a disconnect nowadays where parents are like, here's a tablet, here's a screen, here's this to kind of distract you, instead of actually dealing with like the tantrums and the core issues. But I want to also turn it over to our guest and get her opinion on this as well.
Oh, just about the
Just the whole thing, yeah. Just the
whole
whole thing. Yeah, the whole thing. The whole
besides
kid's
us being
photo.
people not living their lives online rather than facing them in real life. First of all, we as adults hopefully should be nurturing our offline lives. And if you ever find yourself more online than offline, or turning down things because of something online, unless of course it's something like this where you've made an appointment, you need to balance that. And it's the responsibility of adults to try to help children do that as well. But I will just tell you that I think the genie is out of the bottle, though. We can only look around and tend our own garden, but the vast majority of people are living offline. Like where you see people losing their stuff, like beating up their teachers, for example, for taking away their cell phones. They're acting like addicts doing it, and that's what's going on. So we have a nation of addicts, and then you add to that people that don't know how to behave, or they've been allowed to misbehave, and their brains are changing. I don't know. We're doomed.
Yeah, I feel you, because because I'm the oldest of 8, and our age range goes from 30s to early 20s to one about to go to college, another one about to enter high school, another one about to enter junior high. So, and I can remember back in the days, especially with cell phones and stuff like that, that stuff was banned from classes. You didn't have that kind of stuff. And the only reason I ever got a cell phone to begin with was because I was driving and my dad wanted to know where I was, or in case there was an emergency. Nowadays, I feel they're giving cell phones and stuff like that younger and younger to kids. And they're just being so, it's become their parents. It's become their mentors. It's become their teachers. It's all in one in that. And if they lose it, they feel disconnected from the world. That was that's my big speech.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not, yeah.
You're totally right. That's why we have I don't know if you guys have seen like all the teachers complaining about all the iPad kids that they can't read. They're like way behind in classes and they're supposed to be, because a lot of technology is raising these kids and they don't know how to like interact. And you're right, it is an addiction. The iPads, the phones, it's like an addiction, because when you're online, you're looking at the things that you constantly like, you're on social media, you're getting likes, all of that stuff becomes an addiction. So when they can't get that, it's like a drug addict not being able to get their hits. That's why they act out the way that they do in the cases with the teachers where they're physically attacking their teachers, which is something that when I was in school, nobody even thought about ever disrespecting.
No.
Never. And now it's like every single kid, you see them and they're all acting out and you're like, what the heck? Like, and then what's worse is my sister's a teacher, so I hear from her all the time. This is why I know. But she's a teacher and she tells me that they'll call the parents sometimes and the parents get mad at them instead of the kids. They'll be like, well, why are you taking away the cell phone? Why are you telling them to do something that they don't want to do? And it's like, oh my gosh, you don't even have the parents on your side either anymore. So like, what are you supposed to do?
Well, yeah, you don't have the school on your side either. You're not allowed to suspend or discipline students. That's the other thing. I love it when people sometimes will try to blame the teacher. And I'm like, well, I would very much like to have the kid that's assaulting everyone out of the classroom. Thank you. But one of the reasons I quit, I'm no longer full-time teaching because no way. I was done. I got hit by a kid for the last time. Nothing happens to them. There's a reason for it. But but imagine though, trying to expect teachers rather, to deal with for 8 hours people that have been cut off. So imagine an addict. Someone said this, like HEROIN addict. They're allowed to have their fix all the time when they're home and when they're outside. And then you expect them to go 7-8 hours with nothing. Of course, they're going to wig out. They're going to go insane. That's what a real addict would do. And so this online addiction it's in epidemic proportions right now. Grown-ups have it as well. And I'm thinking, am I being a hypocrite? Because I'm sitting here on and off. We're talking about these things. It's like I'm online. I have social media. It's scary. And there's nothing to be done about it because you cannot. Not only is it the parents that are not on your side, the administrators are not on your side, your government's not on your side. Legally, you are not allowed to do anything to students. And I'm talking public schools, but it has started to creep into private schools as well.
Do you think, though, I want to play devil's advocate right here. Do you think it also has to do with the fact that teachers now have become more personal with students? I know, because like when I went to school, I didn't know my teacher's first name. I didn't know if they were married. I didn't know who they were married to. I didn't know how many kids they had. If I even tried to call my teacher by their first name, they would correct me. Do you think it's because, and I'm not saying it's all teachers. I know there are plenty of gems out there, but I'm saying just in general, what we've seen on the internet of these teachers of making sure that these students know their personal lives. So thus they feel more comfortable potentially hitting them or attacking them in some way.
No, that has nothing to do with it. I mean, things were very casual when I was doing it. Just because you're casual, someone doesn't give you the right to assault them.
Yeah, no, I just curious about it.
I don't think so. No, it's just that they have no sense of any kind of authority. It's the same reason why they're beating the living daylights out of their peers as well. That we've had in general very casual relationships, if you will, but that's the wrong word, but how we relate to students 70s on. And we would call them Miss or whatever, but sometimes Miss and then the person's first name. But I've even had students that will call me by my first name, especially in private lesson situations, very rarely, not too often, I guess I should say, but it has happened. And it doesn't change how they relate to you. It's how they relate to people as human beings. And if you don't see, if you see that you have a right to do what you want, when you want, and is nobody, ain't nobody going to tell me otherwise, that's what this is what you're going to have. And then these individuals have grown up with that in schools. And I was there when it started because I got the memo 2009. Go do the math about which administration started this. Then they are now doing the same thing with cops and other figures of authority and getting themselves killed. It's a horrendous tragedy.
And it's also that time period, Teresa, is also when social media really came into the spotlight, because social media was kind of around in the mid to early 2000s, but it really didn't get into the mainstream, so to speak, until like 2005 on. And from that point, there was also the new Apple iPhone that came out, and then all of the other cell phones started coming out. I mean, I remember in high school, so this was like 2003 to 2007, when kids started, my fellow classmates started getting cell phones. It was like the Razor phone and all this other stuff, and some of it was like the sliders and such. I didn't get one until I graduated high school, but it seemed like as the older I've gotten, because some of us, we didn't get our cell phones until like high school or maybe college, because that's kind of our age range as far as us, Nadia, Lily, me, Rachel are on the panel. But I started noticing, because sometimes I do like after school care, to get a little cash on the side after high school. I would attend at elementary school for an after school care program to wait for, be there and monitor and, supervise other kids younger than me, for their parents to come pick them up after their work. And it just seemed like every time I got older, it seemed like a person getting much younger seemed to have another electronic device in their hands. So it's like the further away we grew up, the more the younger the people are getting to have devices in their hands. And by the time I'm seeing now, even like 2-year-olds having like these devices up in their face. And I'm just like, no. I'm like, when I get married, I have kids, I am not having any of this nonsense at all. And they are not going to have a cell phone until they graduate high school. It's like, no.
Listen, if it was up to me, bring back corporal punishment. I kid. But let me tell you,
I received corporal punishment. Let's tell you, I turned out okay.
It's a lack of respect. Yes. Case in point. Real quick story. Real quick. I know. I'm trauma dumping. The other day, right outside my house.
Well, the doctors are in the house, so we're good.
I know. Right outside my house, on the corner, a teenager parks there whose house is like across, right? And normally they play very loud music during it, but I'm like, okay, whatever. It's during waking hours. The other day, 6 a.m., honking their horn for somebody. And I was like, oh, first one, I'll let it go. They're teenagers. I get it. They're probably, and whoever they're picking up is like, oh, okay, I'm there. Second one goes off. I'm like, Chris, do you not hear this? And he's got like noise canceling headphones on. Third one goes off. I race. I open this window right here that's right above where they park. And I was like, knock it the fuck off. People are, and I shamed them. I shamed them and their friends. And let me tell you, it has not happened since. It's been a week. So bring back corporal punishment and bring back shame. I kid, allegedly, but bring back corporal punishment. Allegedly. I had to go pick out a belt.
Is that something we can't say on YouTube? Because I'm over here like agreeing with you, and I don't even know if we actually can say that.
I don't want people to think I'm pro child abuse, but I mean, I got hit with a belt, and I grew up fine.
I did too. I got the chancla. It wasn't
shoes flying past.
I got the dial soap in the mouth. Let me tell you, dial soap.
Oh, I did too.
Yeah.
Bring it.
I mean, I'd have it on my tongue for like more than a minute. Oh,
yeah.
Really? Gross.
I don't
throw this out here.
I learned my lesson. I never got that again.
It works.
What do you think, Teresa? Should we bring back pro child abuse of parents?
No.
Somebody's gonna clip that out.
Yes, I am actually against that for several reasons, but that's a whole other different ball game. But I'm just saying, in general, what we have going on is we have a huge, massive cultural and social shift that occurred, and we didn't see it happening because it was happening online. So no one could see what was being accessed, what people were doing when they were sitting around typing. And now we are seeing the fruits of it, but we didn't know it was happening. It started in the 2000s. It started in the late 90s. And, I see some comments about public schools. And like I said, I've taught in public schools and private schools, but I'm saying don't feel you're safe if you've got kids in private schools. I promise you it's just as bad, if not worse, in private schools, because that kind of psychopathy that is being fermented online manifests in really creepy ways when you got rich kids. I mean, in ways that you can't even possibly imagine. And the only reason I say that, I get a little cranky when people say only public schools. And the only reason I get cranky is because, not because I'm feeling defensive of public schools, but I've been in Catholic school, private schools, half my career. I've seen it. And so many parents think their kids are safe if they're not in public schools. They are not safe.
No, especially, I've been to I've Catholic school, private school, all that stuff. Kids are dicks no matter what. Like, it doesn't matter. I think it matters more if the school has more of a parental influence, where parents are there, they're at after school activities, they're involved with the school, versus like just throwing money at a problem. I don't know. But to speak about society downfall, we're going to talk about our next topic, which is which is going to be Taylor Swift.
Okay. I thought you were going to talk about the bucket. Okay.
The bucket. I know. I think Teresa is excited about the bucket.
Well, I had to go. Well, we'll wait till we get there. I'll have to.
So let me pull this up. There's a ton of articles going around. So there's two things going on with Tay. Okay. I'm sure Swifties are gonna come after me. One is the whole thing that people believe like the NFL Super Bowl is going to be rigged because she's dating, I don't know, one of the players for the Chiefs. Thank you. Lily, you're our football expert. Yes. And the other issue going on is that there's an issue going on with fake AI photos, and some of them are actually very graphic photos of her going around Twitter, and Twitter's trying to handle that, but is also blocking. So I don't get the appeal of Taylor Swift, but people like her. I don't know where to go with this one. Lily, is the NFL is this game going to be rigged? Because it's going to be in my hometown. Is it going to be rigged?
I'm like, I think me and Mags have some opinions on this, because Mags is a football fan too.
I have to break protocol and actually vent.
Yeah.
By the way, I like the theory that was going around. The conspiracy theory is that if they win, he's going to propose to her, and then she's going to get married, and making all of her fans turn around to their boyfriends and going like, "Hey, why don't I have a ring?" And then she's going to get pregnant next year, and that will help repopulate the United States. That's a conspiracy theory that I have going on, but I'm going to shut my mouth and let you guys talk football.
Storybook.
Oh my gosh.
Also, you, Teresa, I don't know if you know what's going on here.
Listen, maybe I'm just mad because my team didn't make it to the Super Bowl. Maybe that's it. But no, I honestly think something weird's going on, because the game that they played, the Chiefs against the Ravens have been winning every single game. They've been a really great team. All of a sudden they play against the Chiefs and they can't do anything. They all of a sudden forgot how to play football. Like, I don't get it. So yeah, I don't know. It's weird to me. I believe that conspiracy theory that it's rigged. I honestly think it's rigged. That's just really weird to me. What's it called? How convenient that Taylor Swift starts dating Travis Kelce, and all of a sudden his team is at the Super Bowl. And at the same time, they put out a bunch of articles about how she's going to be important for election season because she has a lot of young fans. They're very impressionable. She can tell them who to vote for. And we all know, I mean, her politics aren't a secret. She's expressed how she feels in the past. So I'm pretty sure we know who she's going to endorse. And that's where I think all of this is going. Sounds like a conspiracy, but I don't know. I guess we'll see, guys. But yeah, I don't know. Mags, what do you think?
Well, I made a comment somewhere that I'm not sure if I can not. I think Lily saw that comment about what I called what Super Bowl edition this was. But I'm not going to say that here. I don't
You
know.
can say you're free to say it here.
All right, I'll say it because I thought it was funny, but I'm like, I don't know. This might cancel me. Okay, so you got T Swift versus Frisco. It's going to be the gayest Super Bowl ever.
Wow.
Yeah, you came up with that one on your own, didn't you?
I did.
Not
I
that
thought it
there's
was
anything
brilliant.
wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong. As George
No,
Costanza
I'm
and
just-
Jerry
yeah,
Seinfeld,
it's
not that there's anything wrong
Seinfeld
with
knob.
it.
Seinfeld knob.
Yes,
Knob,
not
brother.
But it's you know, that's the thing. It's almost I wasn't there because I wasn't quite, old enough to be able to watch this, but I love watching some older like films and docuseries or whatever of, football from back in the day, like early 90s, 80s, 70s, smash mouth football. It was nothing but really mostly it was about football. And then it seemed like from the 90s, 2000s, and of course today, it's not about football anymore. It's about the celebrity. It's about, as much as some of us do like the commercials, it's all about the commercials, and it's all about everything but football. So I know the last couple of years we've had, of course, we've had the global the global issue that affected everybody. And then you also had other things that went on during the summer. I'm not going to say too much into that, but
Oh, the Summer of Love.
the Summer of Love. And then you
Mhm.
have all of these other things where, all of these big organizations came out of, supporting stuff like that or whatever. So of course, ratings went down, money went down, and everything else. So I don't blame the NFL kind of marrying to Taylor Swift, because that's a good way to get young women into football and, purchase things and, get the merch. And I mean, I'm not going to lie, that's really brilliant marketing strategy. But it's really, really weird that they're doing all of this and also in an election season. So you can't help but wonder, what are the angles at play? Who, what kind of 4D chess is going on? And honestly, I don't know if it's rigged or not. And I know some people, because I know there's some things that had some Super Bowls in the past that you kind of look at and kind of go, is that really rigged or not? But of course,
You're sounding like a Bears fan now. Okay.
No, I'm not. But it's almost like, is that something that everybody says because because my team is not in the Super Bowl either? Or is it really truly this? Because she is the hottest thing that's out there. She is like I would say the number one celebrity, right now. She
Isn't
has
she person of the year too? She was
I think
labeled?
she's person of the year. She's a huge major influence over young girls and young women in general. So I mean, in a more positive light, if they, we always hear the decries from the right saying, oh, the nuclear family is falling apart. We need role models to get back into celebrating the families and getting families, having kids, whatever. I'm like, then you have this situation where the other side is presenting their chess pieces, so to speak, or their champions to this. And it's like, you see the right griping about that. So it's like, I am getting like mixed signals all over the place with this stuff. So it's kind of like, it's really hard to find what is the core issue in all of this. And I don't know. This is going to be an interesting thing to watch. Personally, I really don't care about the Super Bowl this year because I'm getting sick and tired.
I just care about it because of traffic, because I'm
Well,
pretty
yeah.
much not going to leave my house.
You may have to like hunker down and have like bunker snacks or something, because Tay will be in the house.
Do you think she's actually? I'm curious to know. Do you think it's real? Like, do they love each other? Is it
I don't.
Is it a ploy? Like, is it a real relationship? Like, she's actually dating him, or is it their agents set them up because it was going to get all this publicity and focus on it?
I don't know. I think somebody brought up, I can't remember where, but somebody brought up tweets from years ago from Travis Kelce, that he seemed to be pretty based, but then now he just seems like he's done a total left turn. And it's just so, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. They're to me now, they're starting to get just as annoying as Harry and Meghan Markle. So they're at that level of annoyance with me.
That's
I
cold.
I truly think she missed the ball when she dumped Tom Hiddleston. So
Oh, well, that's an idiot that dumps him.
yeah,
He dodged a bullet, honestly.
Because now he's like married with his first kid already and stuff.
Yeah. He's good. He's having a family. He's good. Good on you, Tom. I don't know. I think it's just really creepy how her fans are so involved in her relationship, and it's just really weird. Well, the funny thing that I saw one time is that apparently there's a picture of Taylor somewhere out there wearing an Eagles jersey, and if you guys don't know, Travis Kelce's brother plays for the Eagles. And they were saying that this was like an inside job, that his brother actually set them up so that he could mess Travis up so that he wouldn't play well. And that was like the funny side of it. But I don't know. I think they're just, I don't know. I guess we'll see, because this is kind of her MO. It's kind of what she does. She picks someone that's popular for the year, dates them for a little bit, and then we get a brand new album. So we'll see how it goes with album number 87.
Can you imagine the football edition of the breakup?
Oh my gosh, yes.
It was like a touchdown that wasn't, I don't know enough about it.
Teresa, you had me there. I was going to listen.
Yeah.
She's going to have a song titled Touchdown 100%.
Promised me a touchdown, but you were found wanting.
You fumbled at the end zone with this one type of stuff.
Ooh, that's a great segue into our next topic about fumbling.
The end zone?
No, since apparently they fumbled on this popcorn bucket.
That was pretty good. I'm gonna pat myself on the back. That's perfect. I love it.
So, whoever is their marketing person needs to be fired.
Oh my gosh.
Fired or promoted. Because I'll tell you what, everyone's talking about the new movie now.
Yes.
Forget Zendaya. They don't need Zendaya promoting it. They just need to put out a fleshlight bucket so that everybody will be talking about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Speaking of brilliant marketing.
Oh gosh, I never thought of it. I had to Google it. I will not lie. I knew it was something dirty, but I wasn't entirely sure what it was and what the entire thing was about. And I guess it's a thing, a fleshlight, and also a puckered butthole.
Could be a cat.
I knew it. I thought it was just a joke because it kind of looked a little bit like a a female body part. But my first thought also was Return of the Jedi and the Sarlacc pit. And
oh yeah,
I mean all the Freudian things, but especially with the little tentacles there, I see it now. I definitely see it.
So
sadly.
As somebody who used to make props, like sculpt props for movies and stuff like that, this annoys me to no end, mostly because why does it look unfinished up here? This looks like just straight up clay that you would use to sculpt it. This coloring contrast, it looks very unfinished to me. To me personally. Because I feel like this should at least have somewhat color into it. I haven't seen the first movie. I was trying to read the book before I saw the first movie. Ended up finishing the book after the movie left theaters. So I'll probably watch it before I go see the second half eventually. But yeah, I just is there a hole on the bottom?
I think
yes. The idea is that you reach your hand down to pull out the popcorn.
I feel then you would lose popcorn on these.
Yes. How does that even work though? Because it looks like those things are like this, and when you pull your hand out,
I need a video. I need a video
A
of
demonstration
someone trying to pull popcorn out of there.
Yeah.
Well, and not only that, but if you put butter on the popcorn, that whole like the tentacle parts are going to be nasty when you're even halfway through the bucket. I mean, it's just
Yep.
gonna. Oh wait!
How do you
I'm
clean
getting
this?
weird images in my brain.
Yeah.
Oh
I know.
my.
When you said dirty and nasty,
No.
Imagine trying to
I'm-
wash that thing though. Like after you're done with popcorn.
I'm gonna have to take a. Oh no.
oh, she said, imagine having to wash that thing.
I know.
Now
that's what
it's
she
all
said.
in the gutter.
Oh, yeah.
It's all in the gutter.
I feel like the popcorn buckets are getting out of hand. I really do.
Not all right. Now this is where the silly part.
Really?
I feel the popcorn buckets are getting out of hand for movies. It seems to be a thing now that every fucking blockbuster that comes out has like a special popcorn bucket, right?
Mm.
For Barbie, it was her little Barbie Cadillac. For the D&D movie, it was the D20 I have back here. For Aquaman, he got a cheap ass little tin. But I feel popcorn buckets this is getting a little out of hand. This is a little too much. Whoever
yeah.
sculpted this should be sculpting real dolls. That's parts, okay? Than this. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't want to see a doll like this.
No, I said a part of a doll, and you probably wouldn't see it. Never mind.
That would
you
be
know what?
much worse.
I don't know what's
Teresa.
in this ginger
You're not the
ale. I
target
really don't know.
audience, that's why.
Yeah, that's weird.
I mean, I would feel uncomfortable carrying this into the theater.
I don't know. There might be some guys that might be pretty happy to carry it around.
But I also want to know too.
Sorry.
I want to know too, because to me, from the angle of this, the bottom half here looks like a paper popcorn bucket, and this is just like a topper that just clicks onto the top of it.
It almost looks like it can detach too.
Yeah,
Like
I bet it can. I bet you can use it for other things.
Oh no! Yeah, I was.
Listen, you
understanding
all
more.
wanted this
worse.
on topics today. So. Teresa's never coming back. She's like, I don't know about these crazy people.
Teresa's probably dead. She's dead inside and having that like at the ghost leave in her body. Kind of thing.
No, well, hey, I was the one who laughed, but I admit I had to Google it. I didn't know.
So is anybody getting it? Because I'll tell you right now, if my theater has it when I go see Dune 2, I'm totally buying one. I'm totally buying one.
I'm like in a
seeing
heartbeat.
Dune. Yeah, I'm seeing Dune.
Yeah.
And was it that Friday of release weekend or whatever? Yep, I'm gonna see if it's in my theater too. So
Yeah, but everyone's gonna look side eyes at any man buying it.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Like,
almost
so what are you getting that for, pal?
But and the men in the chat can comment on, or maybe don't.
maybe that might be a bad idea.
You asked for it.
Like,
You asked for it. You and
It
Elmo.
doesn't look, how do I say, pressure fit?
Ooh.
Is that a best?
Can we stop?
No, it's
Yeah.
just getting worse.
Whoa.
It's just getting worse. We are
Let me
all in the
clock
gutter.
that. 5 an
See,
hour.
if any of these men answer, then they'll out themselves too. So I'm on
mean,
your
just in
side, gentlemen.
Just in general, I'm thinking from a logistic point of view. This looks like throwing a hot dog down a hallway kind of situation, because those things look like they're like gonna like fold in. So they're not. You know what? I've talked way too much about this.
Whoa.
And
Yeah.
Nadia, you're gonna get
Okay.
clipped.
we're gonna pull this back.
Oh, and pull it back.
Oh, that. All right, I'm out. Bye, guys.
Oh no! Oh no!
I'm preparing for
chat-
the.
Let's use rein it in. Rein it in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
hot dog
never.
in a hallway.
I am going to be a part of a spicy book club stream this weekend, so I'm just
You're
getting
just
warmed
warming up.
Yeah, I'm just
You're
warming up.
for
I
sure.
just have one question though.
Uh-oh.
Go
if
ahead.
this is the popcorn bucket for the guys, let's admit that it's for the guys. What's the one for the girls gonna look like for Argyle?
Henry Cavill's forehead, because that stupid fucking hairstylist should be fired for that awful haircut. That's what it's
Yeah.
going to be. It's just going to be his forehead to his hair, and you just pop open the hair, and there you go.
Oh my gosh.
You know what? You know what? Dr. Rachel, why thank you. That's a great segue
You're
into
welcome.
a trailer that
I
dropped
think.
this week. Let me find it. Now, Teresa, I don't know if you know this. I'm a pretty big simp for Henry Cavill. I have a Henry Cavill blanket with all Henry Cavills over it.
Hey, who isn't?
True, truly, right? I feel like a bunch of us could make a Henry Cavill club.
I'll throw a coin to that Witcher any day.
Ooh, Teresa. Wow.
This trailer dropped. It's Guy Ritchie's new movie about real life. Well, it's based off real life World War II spies.
Mhm.
And I love this. I love seeing Henry get roles that allow him to act rather than just be a pretty body and face on the screen. Because I liked Man of Steel, but he's been given a lot of shitty scripts for a long time, Witcher included. And I really enjoyed the now that's basing this all off the trailer, but I am pro unhinged Henry Cavill, pro unhinged Henry Cavill.
Just unleash him, please.
Yeah.
Unleash
Yes.
him to his full potential.
It's really hot. I agree.
Yes. No, Lily. You got Ryan Gosling and Pedro. This one's mine. No. No.
Oh,
No.
I mean,
No.
he's like in general, we can all agree that he's a good-looking guy.
Okay.
No.
All right.
not like that.
Lily's
No.
Lily's trying to be the
I'm like,
Pokemon
no,
master. She's
I'll
got to
keep-
collect them all.
No.
Gotta collect them
This
all.
is
No,
the
no, no.
this is the PAL
No.
World version, but like was
Yeah. No, I only have my 3 and that's it. I'm cutting my
Pocket
So
Man.
far.
Pocket Man.
Technically,
Pocket man.
I'm married, so I can't really say much, but
Oh, she said
did-
technically.
he
Interesting.
did he did allow me to have a Henry Cavill blanket, though I feel bad for him. So sometimes he'll look over at me and, what are you wearing? It's just I have it over me. I assume the panel is excited for this movie. Did you see the trailer at all, Teresa?
I did not. I saw the other one where that weird one.
With the haircut, the weird bad haircut.
Yeah, the bad haircut one. Yeah, I haven't seen this.
I think the other one's Argyle. It
Argyle.
got really bad reviews. I'm still
I
gonna. I'm
can't wait
seeing
to
it this
see.
Sunday.
I'm gonna see it this weekend.
Big ass forehead, Henry Cavill. So yes, I'm very excited to see this. I hope everybody go see this. I think we should support more indie type films. I'm not saying this is an indie film, but this is not a prequel, a sequel, a story in a universe. This isn't a movie that's just has no relation to anything out there. And I think we should go support more independent films like this rather than, I hate to say it, Beetlejuice 2. I'm not excited for it. I saw the poster today. I'm just like, there are a ton of books out there, ton of comic books that we could have endless amount of IP movies fresh every year. But studios don't want to take the risk and they constantly want to just rehash the same stuff. So I 100% support this. This will actually probably be my second ever Guy Ritchie film. Sherlock being the first.
And Nadia, you're right. This seems to be the year of like prequels. I mean, if you look at the long list of movies, it's like such and such 2, such and such 3, such and such 4, like all of them, it's like mostly prequels this year. I mean, I understand Dune. I wouldn't really, it is a prequel, but I wouldn't categorize it as part of like, it's been done before, we're over it kind of thing. But it's like all of these titles that are prequels this year seems to be ones that they've had a franchise for a while, or, they've had sequels too. It's like, we need something fresh like this to really kind of mix up the movie pool, so to speak, and at least give us something to enjoy.
100% agree. Even with TV too. TV as well. Just bringing back, again, there's an endless pool of IPs in books and comics and even video games. And yet we're still stuck with Beetlejuice 2, I don't know, Jaws 5, something like I looked at the list and you're right, Mags. Most of the movies for this year that are blockbuster films are either sequels or they're prequels. And some of them are sequels to movies that have been 20, 30 years old that nobody asked for.
Yep.
on it. What do you think, Miss Martin?
Oh, but the prequels. Well, yeah, but Songbird of Icebergs and Snakes. Oh, wait, that was last year.
Yeah.
Never mind. Yeah. But, well, and they need to just look at last year, but maybe it's too late. Two of the biggest films were Oppenheimer and Barbie. Now, say what you will about either of those, but they were first-time deals. They weren't sequels. They weren't prequels. They were relatively original. Well, they were original and new. And the other one, Sound of Freedom. So they got to get out of this quote-unquote safe sequel, prequel territory because, for one thing, they're not saving money because they cost so much to make that even not only if they're not even breaking even, let alone making a profit.
Mm-hmm.
And so for that very reason, something like this, I think we need to support, because I'm a pretty big believer in supporting what is good.
Mm-hmm.
And Hollywood will listen to money. So if you want good entertainment, then we need to be going in this direction, because they do eventually follow money. But I think that the writer's strike really effed them all over. So they're kind of stuck with what they have, or they already have ready to go.
Yeah,
That's-
they probably had some of these in production, or already had some of it in the works. And then, but now it's almost like, well, they already have something there set up from a previous film. So it's almost like they can just kind of fast track it and conveyor belt it out the door, I guess. I don't know. I'm probably speaking wrong.
And there's talk now of potentially a second strike happening, potentially. That I saw today. Yeah. Yeah. And I feel so my opinion of the strike is I don't want anybody to ever go homeless or have to fight to put food on the table. I know a lot of people in the industry, everybody focuses on the 1% who are the talking heads. Nobody focuses on the people who are sound, editors, people who work, in that industry, the 9 to 5s, some of them work paycheck to paycheck or jobs to job. And I would never want anybody to suffer like that. But at the same time, I'm like, the studios and the 1% need to get their heads out of their asses and come to a mutual agreement, because if you are already net worth like millions of dollars, you're not going to struggle, right? If you don't work for a couple of months. But somebody who might be a grapher for setting up sounds and stuff like that, they're going to, if they don't have jobs, they're going to have to rely on something else. So I really hope there's not a second strike, but I saw today a news headline that it's wavering. There's a potential for it.
Yeah. You're far more nice than I am. My first thought was, don't do it until Cobra Kai is ready. Because I'm sick, because that's the one thing left that I really want to watch.
And not only that, but they put out today a picture of on set everybody being there today, and it's like talking about working on the sixth and last season. And I'm with you, Teresa. I'm like, can we? This has already been delayed because of the writer's strike last year.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see this.
Yeah, I love it. It's, speaking of good new content, it's, oh gosh.
I'm waiting for Stranger Things 5. I think they need to wait for that, because otherwise these kids are going to just age out of this by now.
Well, what's her name's already gotten plastic surgery, for crying out loud. So
Moriarity.
13 or 12 or no, I mean,
there's your next topic.
I know. We're just moving along.
Did I really?
You're doing so good with segues tonight.
I am doing so great with segues. Hold on, let me find it. I know I put it on here.
So well.
Okay, so speaking of plastic surgery, here we go. The Boys star Erin Moultrie fires back at Megyn Kelly's plastic surgery accusation. Do they have the before and after photo? No, but I'm pretty sure. Let me find it.
Google it, yeah, because it's pretty.
Yeah, wait, she's really trying to say that she didn't get plastic surgery?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, for.
Yeah.
Here it is. Let me open this up.
No, she has that Joker face thing going on, which for some reason people are doing in Hollywood now, and
they're taking out
that
whatever
did not
this fat right
the
here.
buckle fat.
Yeah.
Before, after. That nose is this nose is, and granted, I will give it to her. It could be makeup to helping a little bit, but this nose is definitely a little bit more curved out like this way. If you look at this is more curved like that way.
I would have to see. The thing is she does look different, but the only thing I can say, if you want to play, if you want to talk about playing devil's advocate a little bit, at least try to understand other perspective. Is it the lighting, the camera angle, the type of lens of the camera? Like, I don't know, because I don't watch these shows, and I don't know. I would have to look at movement, like actually see her move around. But even between this and this, like both of it, but it's like, you see it in her lips though. Her lips are like,
it's because you can tell. I can already tell you like about 3 different procedures that she's already had. No, actually 4, just by looking at her face.
Oh wow.
It looks like she's had the buccal fat removed. She's got lip injections. She's got her nose done, and she's got a probably like an upper blepharoplasty.
Like a lift. Like a lift or something.
Right here. This little fat pad that we have right here on our eyelid, she doesn't have it anymore.
I mean, own it. Just own it. Just like, don't be upset about it. Just own it.
The thing is, she shouldn't have just said anything. Just leave it alone. The more that you talk about it, the more that people are going to bring it up. I mean,
I thought she was gorgeous beforehand.
Yeah,
I don't get this. Like,
they have such a bad self-esteem, such a bad self-image of themselves. I mean, it almost makes you want to go back to the days when they were just starving themselves instead of putting themselves with a knife. Because, my gosh, this is permanent, what they're doing.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If I had the money, I would get stuff done. Heck yeah. I was like, I told Chris already, if I ever have kids, I'm getting mommy makeover. Tighten, pull everything back, fill this, fill that. I'm cool with it. But my thing is, like, if you're called out on it, like you said, Lily, either ignore it, just let it go, or just own it. I mean, you can't tell me from this before and after photo that this girl at least hasn't had some work done, right? At the point.
The more I look at her, Lily, obviously you're right, but like I even looked at her. I'm looking at her under eye. It looks so like there's no definition of the under eye. It's just kind of like smooth.
But that could also be makeup or a filter on the photo itself.
Yeah,
that's true.
And the lighting here in this photo is on set, and that's why you're getting a little bit of a divot underneath the eyes.
Yeah,
right.
It's the overhead.
Yeah. I agree.
It's just, I don't understand it.
That's the thing, is that I'm not against plastic surgery at all. Like Nadia said, if I had $1 million, I probably would have already gotten everything done too. But the thing is that you have to kind of look at it and make a better version of yourself if you're going to do anything. Like, there's a lot of celebrities, like for example, Emma Stone has had a bunch of work done, but you would never think that, because you look at her and you go, no, yeah, she looks the same as, when she was younger. Obviously now she's getting older, but she looks like herself. And one of my favorite people that I watch on YouTube that goes through, celebrities and the work that they've had done, she did one on Emma Stone. And I was like, no way. I was like, no way she had all of these things done. And she has. It's just that this is going to the extremes. I mean, I hate saying that because this is her body. This is her choice to get all of these procedures done. But the thing is, it's to the extremes. She was already a very beautiful girl before. Like, it's nothing that she needed to do. And that's a big old trend in Hollywood right now, is they're all getting the buccal fat removed, and it looks terrible. The thing is that the buccal fat, you have to have like big chubby cheeks. Like, if I would do it, it would probably look okay because I have enough fat for them to remove. Obviously, she was already very thin before. Her face was already very thin. It's going to make her look really gaunt. And the thing is that the older that you get, you're going to start losing that fatty tissue. What do you think she's going to look like when she gets older? She's going to look much, much older.
And not only that, but it's also like you lose your elasticity and everything. So everything that you lost, you're gonna look far worse as you age. It's like getting a tattoo at a young age, and then as you get older, it starts looking like a blob. It's just it's like when you do these things, a lot of times it doesn't age very well. And that's, I mean, no offense to anybody who likes to get anything like tattoos or plastic surgery done. It's just the reality check is you're not going to age. It's not going to age very well. And then they start putting more plastic surgery on themselves every time they keep aging because it's not looking too good. And a lot of times what happens is something that I remember somebody saying a while ago, or maybe I read it somewhere, that like you talk about the comparisons, Lily, that you said Emma, who was it? Again, there's too many Emmas out there. Emma Stone to her, and it's like, maybe it's the differences in the plastic surgeons. I mean, because a lot of times some plastic surgeons are really good at really making, doing a good job. And those probably are the far more pricier ones. I'm sure they make a lot of money from all of this. Yeah. So maybe she went to one that wasn't, I mean, it was good quality. Like, I'm not saying anything wrong. I'm not hurting anybody's feelings here. But like, who knows? Maybe it wasn't done right. I don't know. I have never gotten plastic surgery, and I'm too afraid of needles anyway. So I'm not gonna go down that route.
I also think it's like anyone who's getting a major change like that, especially to their face and body. I haven't worked for a plastic surgeon, so I don't know the procedure, but like maybe Dr. Rachel knows. Do they have to see somebody before to clear them and be like, okay, yeah, this person isn't suffering from, body dysmorphia. This is a change that they actually want. Because a lot of these people don't need things like that. And obviously the plastic surgeon wants to make money. And sometimes they don't have their patient's best interest at heart. Because there are a lot of plastic surgeons that you go to and they're like, I'm not going to do this. I already think you've had enough and I'm not going to do it for you. So I don't know, Dr. Rachel, is that like something they?
Yeah, it honestly depends on the surgery itself. So something that's going to be very life altering, like I know I've heard breast reduction or breast implants. You really should very much see someone. Obviously, if you're doing like sex change, that definitely you need to talk to someone. If you're doing like I've heard major facial reconstruction, you do need to talk to someone. It's kind of the difference between like what is life-saving, what is major, what is minor, what is like a cosmetic change. But at least from my field, I know for sure, like this isn't exactly my field, but for sure you definitely need a lot of recommendations, a lot of therapy before sex changes. The problem with today is that they're kind of letting that go under the table, and they're not like giving people thorough examinations. Like really, it should be weeks and months of therapy before you even get a diagnosis of anything, because they want to be sure that they're diagnosing you with the right thing so they can prescribe you with the correct treatment that's going to, really help you and be beneficial for the rest of your life. They're not doing that. So I would not be surprised if a lot of surgeries like these, even life-altering ones, are just like, yeah, sure, you're fine. Go ahead with it. But I did want to point out something that Mag said. If I can really remember it.
What did I say?
Okay. No. It was really good, and I want to add on to it. Oh God, what was it?
When she talked, I had a segue, but then I lost it.
Oh no! I went on too long. See, I haven't been back in months, so I'm like word vomiting all over the place.
No, it was good. I think it was the idea that like people are getting them young, and they're not like you and Lily were both saying, like they're not considering what are the long-term effects of it. Like as they're aging, the fat kind of like dies down anyway. So you're left with a slimmer look in your face. It really points out one of the really bad things is a lot of younger generations aren't future planning. They're not thinking about what they're going to look like or what they're going to do, where they're going to be in the future. So they're getting these surgeries, not considering what happens 5, 10, 20, 30 years from now. And that's another thing, just this whole thing of like, we need a quick society. We need diagnoses right away. We need surgery right away. We need to remove all that fat from my face right away. They're not considering the long-term effects of it. And it's just more and more people are thinking that way. And it's sad.
And it's like the quick solution thing, because it's like dieting. Instead of actually putting in the work and doing the work, they want a quick solution. They want to. I see pills or lose weight pills or whatever on TV advertised all the time. It's like a get quick fix type scheme, and it's just. And then you hear something about like Ozempic. Like, and then you see lawsuits like a year or two later being advertised. If you ever took this, it's like, it's all instant gratification. That's where it stems from. And of course, we're not, as a side note, I was just thinking about this. We're not talking about people who physically have to be altered because of an accident.
Yeah, because of an accident or like a deformity in.
She was already a beautiful girl prior to this.
Exactly. That's excusable. Yeah. She is not excusable. I mean, she could do whatever she wants, but I'm just saying, like, there's a difference here between people who are suffering in terms of an accident, burns, whatever it may be that they had suffered from physically, and they need to be altered to help them get that sense of normalcy. Whereas people who are Erin, who was beautiful before, it's like, I get it. Like, you have the money, you can do whatever you want, but like everybody else has said, own up to it. It's okay. Everybody else in your circle's doing it.
Just ignore it.
Yeah.
Just ignore it. You don't need to say anything.
Yeah.
But Teresa, that's like the bad thing. Just like, sorry, Nadia, just one more little thing. But what Mags was saying too is that, like, it kind of goes along with the Erin thing too. It kind of happened a little bit after Erin's, but like the whole internet was set on fire because of this video that came out of Kylie Jenner too, that she's only 26 years old. And yes, granted, she was under lighting, those overhead lighting, so it's going to show off all of the, like, every single little crease you have in your face, but she's only 26. And I think, like, she looks older than, not saying that we're old, but she looks much, much older than what she looks like. And it's such a shame because she's a very pretty girl and she just keeps getting so many more things on her. And that's why I'm like, dude, why don't they do like these why don't they get evaluated for these kinds of things? Just because they're celebrities, the doctors don't have to say yes. Like, they're literally messing up their faces. If you see like Kim Kardashian too, she messed up her face already. Like, she looks terrible. Kim Kardashian, when she first started to like now, I don't even know why she touched her face. There was nothing wrong with her. She was very beautiful. I don't know. It's just really weird to me, because to me, I would want to look like myself, but a better version of me. Like, Emma Stone did a good job. Those kinds of surgeons do a great job, because I think like her, who else? If I'm trying to think of someone else off the top of my head that you wouldn't even think. I think Anne Hathaway has had stuff done that you wouldn't look at her and you would go, oh my gosh, what did she do to her face? But then you have other celebrities like Madonna and Demi Moore that you look at them and you're like, oh my gosh, like why did they do this? And it's just, I don't know. It's really sad. And Erin was such a pretty girl before. I don't know why she decided to do all that stuff.
I just want to age like, what's her face? Miss Congeniality.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Fine line. Teresa, do you have anything to add to this?
Well, yeah, what I was going to say to the effect of her denying it, when somebody has some sort of disorder, I'm not diagnosing her. I don't want you to lose your channel before it,
No, it's okay.
That they genuinely do believe. They don't have a sense of reality. It's like the alcoholic who is smelling like booze and like I didn't have a drink. And it's the same thing. It's like she can't own it because if you have, or rather a person, let me just say a person who does not have a realistic or even some sort of psychological issue where they cannot see their body as it truly is and is something beautiful, they will say any lie. They will say any deflection to take away from the fact that this is so. So we don't know if we are dealing with sane people, and in many cases they're not. And when I say insane, I mean that in the kindest sense of the word. Everyone has some sort of distortion or some sort of addiction. I will maybe put my feet down and die on that hill. But it's to what extreme that you allow it to alter your life. And when does it come to where the people just need a shrink? They don't need a knife. But we live today where it's almost, if you say so, you could probably get sued for that as well. And I think someone in the chat pointed out that, yes, maybe one doctor might say no, but they'll find someone else because they have no soul. A lot of these plastic surgeons, just the same way the pill pushers have no soul. If it can make them a buck, people will do anything for the almighty dollar.
Would you say they're just going against the facts, right? The facts of life and just not accepting things? That would segue to our next topic.
Uh-huh.
Look at this.
We're holding this in. Sorry. Every time somebody would say facts or drop it, I was like, oh, let's talk about
Actually, we do care about your feelings.
So Ben Shapiro right now is, and Tom MacDonald, the #1 rapper the last time I checked on the charts. Did anybody have Ben Shapiro rapping in 2024 on their bingo card?
Oh, I totally did.
Oh,
but you know, if the man speaks fast enough, I guess it makes odd sense that I don't know why I didn't see it coming. The man, he like inhales and like 3 million words come out in 0.2 seconds. So he was made to rap. He's a natural.
I will say the song kind of slaps after a while. I was listening on in a while and mind you, he's rapping, he's talking. I think he's not talking as fast as he normally does sometimes when he's rapping this. But I was like, okay, the first time I was like, okay, because I like Tom MacDonald. I support him. I'm like, some of his songs are good. And I was like, okay, this is all right. I listened the second time. Yeah, I don't know. I can't get this beat out of my head. So I'm just like jamming to it almost every day.
Oh my gosh, so you're saying he actually slows down when he raps?
I think from what I can tell, I feel like in the video and in listening to the song, it's not as fast as he usually talks when he's in debates.
Holy crud, he should have been rapping all along.
Yeah.
That's one way to solve a problem, because that is one of my pet peeves with his voice. So there we are.
I guess
rapping.
Nicki Minaj congratulated him or at some point or said that,
she did. She did. I tweeted that too. Listen, I don't care what anybody says about Nicki Minaj. I love her and I love her music. So like, when I saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. But yeah, it's because I think they had like a little Twitter beef last year or something.
Because of WAP.
Oh, because that was Cardi B.
Oh, sorry. Wrong one. Okay.
Yes, but I don't remember exactly what happened, or I think it might have been that they kind of like somehow connected with each other because she said something last year about questioning the I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to get your channel taken down. But
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
About that, because she started questioning the Pope, and so I think that's why, because he tweeted her and he was like, you see that, Nicki Minaj, I got like the #1 spot, blah blah blah, and she retweeted it and she was like, congratulations, Ben, but then she was like, yeah, I'm still gonna get like the #1 spot anyway, and she probably is. She just released an album, so
I truly think Nicki is somewhat based, like deep down. she's definitely somewhat based for some things. And I think it comes from a point of like, I see this happening to actual people. You know, why isn't anyone paying attention to it? And I like that sometimes she uses her platform to voice these opinions, because if a normal person would, they would automatically get canceled, maybe fired from their job, you know, family disown them. But you have somebody with a celebrity status like Nikki, who you would automatically assume would be on a certain side of things, saying this isn't right, something's wrong with this. I think she's based, but I love this line, homie, I'm epic, don't be a WAP. Oh, you don't know what WAP is, do you, Teresa?
Do I need to Google that, or should I?
Don't Google that. Don't Google that.
Oh,
No. Don't. After the show, we'll tell you. No.
Okay. How have I stayed so innocent? I think I'm older than all of you. I don't know where I've been my whole life.
Sammy
Don't
said
look
it
at chat. Don't look at chat.
Oh no! Don't look at chat.
Don't look at chat. We'll tell you after.
I will say, Fletcher Williams is probably correct, because this is probably what happens to some celebrities in Hollywood and in general. Nikki is based, she just plays the game. So she probably at first maybe believed, you know, one way, but probably if she's smart enough, she started questioning things. And so, I mean, we started noticing that stuff, what is it, a year or two ago, that she would start saying stuff. So her talking to Ben Shapiro like this and just being cordial, like she's just like, hey, congrats, like whatever. Like she's looking at it from like a musician standpoint, like on that sort of level. She's not, I mean, who cares if they may have different disagreements or something like that. She just doesn't, you know, and we need more communication like that, regardless of what you believe in. So that's really, really like it's a good start. And I haven't listened to the song, but you know, if this is a way to kind of, I don't know, for the right side to finally reach to a much more younger audience, having fun things like that, and then you have people like Nicki Minaj like saying congrats or whatever, that's great. You know, we need more cross the aisle type situations going on.
I agree with you. I believe people should stop taking things out of context. Speaking of which, our next topic. I have no skin in this game because I've never seen Avatar except for the movie we do not talk about. But supposedly this character was somewhat of a sexist in the anime, and then eventually, you know, having stronger female characters around him grew and changed and, you know, became a better person, right? From my understanding, again, I've never seen it. Teresa, do you watch anime?
I do not.
It's okay. It's all right. Each of us have our own little, you know, I love horror. I'm probably the only one. Well, some of us do, but who has watched Avatar, or at least knows? Okay, all right. I'm gonna turn it over to our two experts.
Yeah, I'm like
Dr. Elmo over there.
I'll let you. Took you long enough. I changed that an hour ago. I was waiting to see that.
Oh no, not me. Hold on. Oh, no. I removed her and then there we go. Dr. Elmo.
I wish I had a really red background or something. Yeah.
So
Avatar, so Sokka's character, for those who aren't familiar, he's from this tribe where he's basically like the only man left defending against the attackers and everything. And he goes off to help the Avatar realize his potential and whatnot. So he's at heart a warrior. He's meant to protect his little sister, protect his whole tribe. So in his mind, he's brought up with the idea that men are the fighters, women are the caregivers. And it is, you know, as they'd say, an old school way of thinking, but that's just how he's culturally raised. And then in his journeys, he meets these other female fighters called the Kyoshi Warriors, who are all women, and they're really good at fighting. And he's like, oh, you know, you caught me off guard, blah, 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 you know, trying to beat the man. But he comes to realize that he really cares about them. They teach him new things. And he has this really great arc where he discovers that women can be warriors, they can be tough, and it's okay for him to want to protect women, but it's also okay that women can protect themselves. It's a great story arc. I've watched Avatar so many freaking times. But I love that. And that's a huge part of his character throughout the entire series. So to have that taken away is a big character arc that is now gone. So I really don't know what his character is going to be like if they take that away.
They gave you what was the other one that just came out? Everybody loved One Piece. They're like, here's One
Piece.
Piece, but look what we're doing to Avatar back here.
Yeah.
They pull you in.
It seems to be Netflix's MO, where they give you a really good thing over here, and then they give you like something else over here.
Yeah.
You know, and part of Sokka's arc too is that he's raised in a culture with very preconceived biases towards everyone and everything in the world, and and part of the theme of the show is that not everyone is who you are taught, and it's getting over that, and also meeting other cultures, and as well as growing. You are changing, you are growing, and a good mirror to that, who doesn't change, who doesn't get over their preconceived biases, is Zuko's sister. So it's part of the theme of this series, and there's multiple themes, but one of them is about everyone seems to be born with some preconceived bias towards people, and then as they journey on, they really have these amazing character growth journeys, as well as arcs, and even Sokka learns to fall in love with some of these women too, so it's really interesting. But yes, it's just we don't know if, my only thing is, I don't, and I think this interview, it was the actor that said this. The only thing I can say, to play devil's advocate here, and I am worried, I am cautiously, optimistic, but I'm not, of course, it's, you don't know because it's Netflix. The thing sometimes some of these actors and actresses will say stupid things in an interview, and it's not always the case in the show. And I don't know whether it's just this like a PR ploy where it's like, oh yeah, we toned this down, but then hours later, and of course it was just too late to add it in, but something that was noted is that apparently the Netflix has revealed that they will up the ante in talking about the genocide of the airbenders. So it's like, because I don't think that was, it was already explained in the show, but it seems like they're going to show the actual like genocide of it. And I'm like, so genocide is okay to show, but not Sokka's sexism turned not sexism is not good. It's weird. It's a very weird dynamic going on at play, is what they're trying to show. So who knows what they're up to. I don't know whether it's within the constraints of the show itself, because it is 8 episodes, but they're hour-long episodes. And on another live stream this morning discussing it, it's kind of like the full length of the season, because if you, it was 20 episodes, I think, and if they're all like 23, 24-minute episodes, so they kind of fall in about the 8 to 9 episode hour-long range, each episode, whatever. But it's kind of like, part of why everybody loves this show is because of the character development and the character arcs and how they grow, and some don't. So it's like, people are going to be mad when they don't see the actual character arc going on, and the sexism part is part of Sokka's character arc. So it's not the main one, but it is part of his character. So if he can't have an arc if he can't have some of this part of his journey. So it's just, I don't know what they're up to. And again, a lot of times actors and actresses will say stupid things before anything is released. So I'm worried too. I'm with Rachel. I'm going to be watching it. So
yeah,
I'm gonna base my opinions on you guys, because I've only ever seen that one movie by, I think it was M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh God,
that did it. I have no history, but it's same thing with One Piece. I had no background history of it. I like more horror anime if I'm going to watch anime, and I enjoyed it. I thought One Piece was adorable. And to me, I'm like, if you can adapt this well enough that the fans are happy with it, why would you throw this wrench in the mix then?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like you've made your profit with One Piece. People were talking about it. You were congratulated on actually adapting the story properly. So why mess it up now?
Yeah. I agree.
On that note,
Just plowing through all these topics.
I am on a roll on
you
this
are.
because I want to. The reason why I'm like, people doing stupid stuff. Let's talk about some protesters.
Mm.
Oh.
Mhm.
Let's see where I went there. That was,
Are they playing in traffic again?
No, but I've seen those.
I think Nadi's been practicing these segues before.
I
they've
know.
been
She's
No, I
looking at these topics.
But I guess protesters just targeted the Mona Lisa throwing soup on the masterpiece.
Yep.
That's a way to win
been
minds and
doing
hearts.
a lot of this weird stuff.
Why did they think this was a good idea? Like, how did they think this? Yeah, it gets them attention, but I don't see how they could possibly think this will get people on their side. Like, trying to destroy a masterpiece of art.
And it's not that big. It's like this big.
Yeah.
I've seen it. It's not that big. It's not that big.
Mm.
Everybody's like, oh, when I saw the Mona Lisa, I was like, oh, it's gonna be this like portrait. No, it's pretty tiny. It's a pretty tiny painting. I don't understand how it correlates because most of the time it's climate change activists. So I don't know how correlating destroying art as a way to bring attention to climate change issues that they have.
I think it's a way. It's first of all, it's to grab attention because the Mona Lisa is a very well-known piece of artwork. So of course, if you deface it or throw soup on it, obviously it's covered. It's got some protection there. But regardless of the situation, it doesn't matter if there's protection there or not. You're still defacing property, and you're defacing something that is a national treasure or a world treasure at this point, if you think about it. And it's a connection to the past. It's a connection to other things that all of these activists hate. They don't like anything of the past. They want to destroy anything that came before. I mean, obviously. And it's a way of attention. What my question is, well, two things. Where's the security? I mean, obviously somebody filmed this and this is like about a minute and 40-second long. Somebody should have been like literally throwing them down WWE style on the floor and, on the face planted on the floor, hands behind the back, everything. They should have been like manhandled and taken out the door and thrown into a jail somewhere for like 48 to 72 hours.
Like the traffic activists, the people who are fed up with it now, civilians getting out of their own cars and pulling these activists out of the road. And then the story a couple months ago of that guy who shot a couple of them, he was just fed up. He's just tired of it. Like this is going to just continuously just escalate.
And not only that, but if somebody's going to the hospital, your wife is pregnant and like needs to give birth at a hospital or something's happening, and these idiots are blocking the way, you best believe people are going to be desperate enough to do something that's not going to be good. But I mean, I think it's in their right because technically you are disrupting. You're disrupting. What is it? Basically, it's actually unconstitutional because if you think about it, well, here I don't know what their constitution is, but here in the United States, it'd be considered unconstitutional because you're disrupting interstate commerce clause. So. Your butt needs to be kicked out somehow. Some of these people need to be manhandled. And the poor, they're so selfish. They don't even think about the actual janitors or the people that have to clean up behind them, who are going to be, doing extra environmentalism, if you want to call it, to be able to clean up their own damn mess. So
I hope they use the most toxic spray ever. Teresa, what do you think of these guys?
Well, see, to them, the ends justify the means. So sometimes you've got to do what you have to do. They would figure that even if some people are inconvenienced, well, then hopefully they're inconvenienced. They are chaos people. And the reason why they're doing it and why there are no cops and stuff is what's been happening everywhere. they're not allowed to enforce the law anymore. And then when civilians do it, they go to jail. So once people know that you can do something and not have a consequence, you will only see escalation like this. Now, of course, the Mona Lisa was not in danger at all because of the covering, but it is a symbolism. But we've had fanatics since the dawn of time. One that comes to mind is the suffragette who in England who threw herself in front of the king's horse and died. And she was considered a hero. It's like, yeah, that got attention to women's suffrage. So if they've got attention, it doesn't matter. And they believe that the end justifies the means. And I don't know what to do about people like that, because they're allowed to do it. People will do what they are allowed to get away with. And as long as they're allowed to get away with it, then it's only going to continue. And they will just continue to punish civilians who are trying to maybe bring a little bit of law and order. It's disgusting.
I agree. I think people have too much time on their hands. I feel like we're no longer a society to be that are creative and making. I mean, there's exceptions to the rules, right? Majority of this community are very creative people, but I think just in general, people no longer strive to be better than the previous generation. People no longer strive to find new things, do things with their life. Instead, they focus on things like this, and they're like, oh, I'm just going to go throw tomato soup at Mona Lisa and get the 15 minutes of attention that I need, instead of maybe creating something that would help climate change, or maybe be an activist in a different positive way. I'm not pro climate change, but I'm just saying, if this is the agenda that you're willing to die on this hill for, maybe be a little bit more productive in it and build something that has a lasting foundation, instead of just throwing Campbell's tomato soup on the Mona Lisa. Just my MO. On that note,
hungry everybody. How about
speaking of soup?
I want to cover one more topic, just one more topic, and I figured we've had a lot of deep, hard topics today. Some of them a little serious, some of them not. I want to end on a positive note on this one, and the positive note that I have for it, as I try to talk so I can pull this up, is Universal's Epic Universe theme park will launch in Florida next year. It looks amazing. And I want to know if the Disney stockholders are crying, because if they pull this off, especially for me personally, for the Harry Potter thing going on, I've never been to Florida. I'll buy a ticket. I'm on my way. Let's go. I'll suffer the humidity.
Oh, come on down. Come on down. I live here. Do it.
I don't know.
Will get down there eventually.
I don't know what Disney's doing with their life, but it's not what Universal is doing, and I'm here for it. Teresa, are you a theme park? Are you a Universal or Disney at all?
I used to be, back in the day. I used to like to go, if only to see the whole Beauty and the Beast and go to be our guest, because I'm a huge fan of that. But Universal has been doing everything right. First of all, we've got the Harry Potter that you can go and see. And when they actually did a Harry Potter thing, it was Harry Potter. Disney World, they spent all that money on doing a Star Wars thing and didn't even really do Star Wars. It was like a completely different place that no one has even ever seen. So I hope that Universal gets all the money and people enjoy it. I might even go. We'll see.
I want to take my husband to Super Nintendo World. I actually am trying to take him to the one in California this year, at least just as a taste. I know that also the Wizarding World out here in California is not as big as Universal down in Florida. I know it's a little bit more expanded, but I love to see that Universal is thriving. Right? They're putting their money where their mouth is. They're giving back to their customers. To me, they're more affordable to go to as a park. You get a lot more bang for your buck, where I feel like Disney, it's just price tags everywhere, from the inflated ticket pricing to the long lines to having to buy passes to get to the front, to the food and all this stuff. Where Universal, I feel, is more... Universal is what Disney used to be for the nuclear family, where the family used to be able to go to Disney once a year, maybe once every other year, have a nice vacation. Now it costs as much. You might as well go to Europe for a week. Where Universal, I feel, is taking over that. They're like, hey, bring your families here. We've got the Minions. I don't know. We've got How to Train Your Dragon. You know, we've got Wizarding World. Bring your family over here. We're going to cater to the family. And especially since they're putting more effort into the dark universe, which I'm a big fan of.
Yeah. Are you saying you would spend all that money to go see the Mona Lisa?
I would go see the Mona Lisa. If I had not seen the Mona Lisa, I would spend the money to go see the Mona Lisa, but I don't like France. No offense to any French people that ever watch our show, but French, at least Paris, when I went, was very dirty. Like, I think San Francisco at its worst. It was very dirty, very like you have to pay to use public restrooms there because they want to keep certain people out of it and stuff, and people just defecating in the streets and stuff. And it's I wouldn't recommend it. Just my
So nothing's changed since the 1700s over there in France.
I have the biggest frown on my face, my rose petal frown. I love Paris, or I used to love Paris. I don't know if I would survive Paris nowadays because of some certain things that have been going on there. I love Paris. I always have.
I went in 2016. I'm glad I went. I got to see the Eiffel Tower. I got to experience things that I, as a little girl, I wanted to. But at the end of the day, I walk away from it and I'm like, it's a dirtier version of Chicago at the time in 2016. I know they had some conflict there and there's a lot of issues going, but I would rather go back to Italy over France.
I just want to go to Versailles. That's all I want to see in Paris.
Versailles. It's a very nice little town ttoo. I was just trying to make a cute little connection to the Universal spending money and then Mona Lisa and
segue in it, right?
Segue, or is it a backwards segue or reference?
It's like Uno reverse segue or something like that.
Yeah.
I just want to know what Disney is going to do, because Disney had a shitty year at the box office last year. They had to close down the Star Wars park in their park. They're taking forever to change Splash Mountain, or one of the iconic rides, into the Princess Frog.
Tatiana?
Princess and the Frog.
Which was totally unnecessary, by the way.
Yeah. And there's nothing exciting from Disney coming out. I think Disney Plus, to be honest, nothing. I don't find and it's just too expensive for just to me, it's too expensive just to have a photo op to just say I was at Disney.
Mm-hmm. And to your point, Nadia, because I know plenty of people, like, nothing wrong with it. I get it. Some people are just, it's like with anything, you're fans for life type of situation. I know plenty of
Disney adults.
Yeah, Disney adults. But I know plenty of them. And then when they talk about them planning their trip, I just get stressed out on just day one. I'm like, oh my gosh, everything that you have to do, you got to time everything right. You got to be up at this time in the middle of the night, like certain weeks or certain months or whatever before that, so you can get your restaurant booking in. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like, you know what? I went to Cancun once many, many years ago, and that was far cheaper and far better experience than any of this, and I was far more relaxed and on vacation rather than trying to meet all these requirements here. It's just ridiculous. So it's just going to be amazing. There was and I know it's a 7-minute video, and people can look at it at their own leisure when I played it, but like some of the things that they were talking about in that video, and they talked about each one, the dark universe and everything. I'm like, this is great. This is such a great opportunity for Universal to really step it up and really put that competition out there. And, you're right, Nadia, for the nuclear family itself, like, this is a great way to do it. I mean, it's incredible.
Oh, I'm totally down for the dark universe.
I know. As soon as I saw that, I thought of you immediately. I was like, Nadia's got to see this video.
I love Universal Monsters. The Wolfman is by far my favorite. And I am just, I'm excited that it tells me that they have been successful enough to put the money back into the parks
Mm-hmm.
and build this out.
And not only that, but they believe in their vision. There's a lot of belief in their vision. It seems like there's a lot of passion behind it. I mean, the fact that they have like the 3D model and how detailed that looks. It looks inviting. It's colorful. It makes you want to feel excited to want to be there. You know, it's just I cannot wait.
It's not 4 years from now. It's not 5 years from now. It's literally 1 year from now. 1 year from now, they are expecting to open this up. That should just, I feel like Disney should be crying in the corner somewhere. I mean, again, how long did it take them to, are they even completed? Done switching Splash Mountain over?
No.
I don't
No.
know. So.
Okay. And that's
I
been,
I think that was like
been
2 years in the
discussed for a
making,
while.
and it's still
Yeah.
going through.
I say when this comes out, we all just go to this.
I want to do that.
I'm
Yes.
down.
Yeah.
Group trip. Let's just all go to this. Rachel and I will run off to Harry Potter area, and we'll meet you guys back.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
We'll all be there. We'll all be there.
Yeah, like,
Can we live stream a Dames and Dorks episode
Yes.
from the park?
Yes,
Absolutely.
let's do it.
so we all have to go dressed up in our house colors, okay?
Yes. Yep.
Not going to be a problem.
I may need some help with that, Lily. So, and Rachel, I need help with that. You guys are
We
more
can
than
help you.
nerds about it than I am. So.
You just take a test, Mags. There's a test.
Well, I know
online.
I know I'm Gryffindor. I just don't know what goes with
Gryffindor.
what in terms of.
I'm Slytherin 1000%.
Yes. Yes.
I used to be a Hufflepuff, but life hit me hard. And
Life hit me hard since birth, Teresa. I've been a Slytherin before even Harry Potter was in existence. So my husband's a Hufflepuff, though. He's a Hufflepuff. It's a very common combination, Hufflepuff and Slytherin. But yes, butterbeer on me. First round of butterbeer on me. If we ever we get this
yay, and
going.
then we'll all get diabetes.
Yes.
Worth it. Worth
Yeah.
it.
Worth it.
Speaking of worth it, I want to thank our guest.
Yes, the final segue.
Thank you, Teresa, so much for joining us today. And I hope we didn't scare you off so you would come back. But if people don't know where to find you, where should they find you?
Well, best place to find me is here on YouTube, Miss Martin Muses, where I talk about what makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy, makes me sad, or just really ticks me off. And Twitter, Teresa2_Martin.
All of her links will be in the description too. So go ahead, give Teresa a follow, show her some support. Lily, where are you going to be next?
Sorry, that took me by surprise.
It's okay.
Whoa.
I'm trying something new.
Whoa, okay. Well, you can find me on Twix at 300 Mirrors, and then on Midnight's Edge Espanol, doing shorts. And then we just finished reviewing the Zorro Prime TV show that just came out. And then also on Legion Talk Mondays for Game of Thrones. And then we're going to start doing House of the Dragon. And then Fridays on Legion Talk as well. And then just wherever, you'll find it on my Twitter because Mags, some of the other girls know me. Sometimes we'll be on Alf's channel doing the party animals?
Party
Oh,
ladies
okay.
big streams. Those are fun.
I'm like, so just follow all of us and you'll see stuff where I'm going to be at.
Very cool. Dr. Rachel, make everybody jealous that you're going to be at MegaCon. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Dr. Elmo. Nice
Elmo,
to see
sorry.
everybody here. If you have any feels that you need to get out, you can find me on Twitter, Saran_cosplay. I'm on same name on Instagram as well. Check out my crafting channel, Out of Line Crafting on YouTube, making all kinds of things. Last few weeks have been pretty busy, so the next few weeks I'm going to be trying to build up some content. The big one is going to be the Master Sword from Legend of Zelda, so check that out, probably mid-February. In terms of where I'm going to be mid-February, you can find me on the Side Scrollers podcast. I will be making an appearance there to celebrate their 1-year anniversary on YouTube. So I'll be
Awesome.
there mid-February. Last one, I promise. I'll shut up in a second. As Maddie already said, you can find me at MegaCon this weekend. So anyone who's going to be in the Orlando area, I'll be at Universal some days. I'll be at MegaCon Saturday and Sunday. So hopefully I get to see some people there.
Very cool. And then last, but she's definitely not least, Mags. Welcome back, Mags. I think this was a very good show for you to be back on. Where are you going to be next?
Well,
Okay.
Of course,
Where can people find you?
well, of course, with it, I didn't even plan this quite like this, but I realized that the first day back on social media is also the first day back on Dames and Dorks. So I'm just like gunning right into it. But anyway, you can usually, let's see here. I will try to make an appearance on Toxic Femininity on Midnight's Edge, which is always every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's another great podcast as well. And you can usually find me on Comics Division's channel, on some of his shows. And usually you can find me around. I know I have to look at scheduling for myself for the rest of the month, but I know on the 17th, I'll be talking to Brandon, the anime guy, about anime to Saturday. And I think he can correct me. I don't remember. I think it's either at 10 a.m. Eastern my time or 11 a.m. Eastern my time. But anyway, so usually you can see me there too, talking to him on the 17th of February. And as far as everything else is concerned, I am going to make sure to put out where I'm going to be on social media. So please make sure you're following me on YouTube, on Twitter, and all the other spaces. But I will usually put my status up on Twitter. So make sure you follow me there to see where I'm going to be, because it seems like I'm everywhere all at once sometimes. So that usually happens in waves. So I am glad to be back. Thank you for having me back. And I am it's good chats, good discussion, and even the chat was on fire. So thank you to the chat and everybody else. So
especially our mods too. Thank you guys for covering the chat tonight.
Mhm.
I'm Nadia from the Inside All Day podcast, Player One. You'll find me tomorrow on Miss Sassy Sasquatch.
Nadia, you have to blow yourself up too.
Yes, you got to do it.
Yeah.
Hold on. Sorry. Okay. As I was saying, I am going to be on Miss Sassy Sasquatch. Man, that's girl, man. Mrs. Sassy's Truly the Female Perspective with Vex and Josh tomorrow. Saturday, I will be on Vex's channel talking about our Spicy Book Club, our first book that we finished. And Monday, I'll be on MMN on Mr. Cannoli's page for Blazing Saddles. So you can usually find where I'm at on Twitter at NerdDollface, and Inside All Day has a couple big projects coming its way, so stay tuned for some announcements on that. Thank you everybody for joining us. This was absolutely a blast. Hopefully I will be on Segways again next week very fast.
We'll practice.
Yeah. Until then, I hope everybody has a great night. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.